Today, we're digging into a viral claim that might blow your mind. The idea that 99% of what's in TJ Maxx isn't actually overstocked designer goods at all, but specially made for those discount stores. Buckle up, baby. Let's do this. So there's a TikTok making waves right now by user Katu King, who happens to have a little experience selling to TJ Maxx. Her video, which got hundreds of thousands of views, drops a little bit of a Maxxinista bombshell. Let's check it out.
But a lot of products at TJ Maxx are literally made for TJ Maxx.
So she's right, but when she says that a lot of the clothes at TJ Maxx were made for TJ Maxx, I want you to go in thinking it's all of them, because in 99.999% of garments in your TJ Maxx were manufactured for that TJ Maxx.
Wait, what? 99.99%? That is like literally almost everything but the hanger it's on. She goes on to explain that the whole idea of snagging overstock or leftover designer inventory at these stores is just basically a myth.
Because overstock does not really exist, because that is not how the fashion industry works. I have worked at companies that have sold to these discount retailers, so I'm going to tell you exactly how it works. The company, and it's usually a holding company, generally American heritage brands, your Calvin Klein's, DKNY. So they go and they're like, okay, designer A, you're going to be designing some sweaters for like a Macy's, that level retailer, and you know that their price point is like $50 to $100 for a sweater, depending on how complicated it is. They go to designer B and they're like, okay, design some stuff that we can show to some of these off-price retailers for, let's say, $20 retail. They are designing with the goal of reaching that $20 retail.
So in her claim, she's saying that the off-price clothes were never in a fancy department store to begin with. That really there is no massive secret warehouse of excess designer clothes. They're all just made for TJ Maxx merchandise, delivered straight to the store from the manufacturer, designed to be at that price point. Now, I really want to go deep here because 99.99%, Katu's basically saying everything in the store except maybe one lonely sock is made for TJ Maxx, and that just isn't true. We know that because if you're a real deal hunter, if you really shop at these stores, we find really good deals, and I show you how to find those deals. Here's what I think. A huge portion of inventory at off-price retailers is indeed produced for those stores, often under deals with the brands. I've been clear about this before in several of my videos, and so many of you have commented, Melissa, my TJ Maxx store is horrible, or Marshall's is horrible, and it's probably horrible because you're getting these manufactured deals. In fact, TJX, the company that owns TJ Maxx and Marshall's, they openly admit this. A corporate spokesperson explained that some merchandise we sell is developed for us when the market doesn't offer the right value. Okay, so that's basically saying, yes, we contract with all of these brands to make made for TJ Maxx versions. And in fact, TJ Maxx will always have a surplus of certain brands like Calvin Klein or Tahari or Rachel Zoe on the racks. But isn't knowledge power? Stay with me here. Let's go deeper, because I think at the end of this story, the idea of knowing this is where the power of the hunt comes in. We know that brokering a deal with a brand for TJ Maxx makes them money, it makes them look good, and it also makes sure that their stores are filled with things. And knowing that is enough to then graduate into level 2 of deal hunting for the best things at these stores. Just knowing that your Calvin Klein sweater could and probably is a Calvin Klein for TJ Maxx special edition, I want you to be aware of those things, because these are the what not to buys when you step in stores like this. And by the way, my next video is going to break down the lineup of all of these manufactured, made for outlet or TJ Maxx brands. And I'm also going to tell you how to spot them. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss when that video comes out. It's going to be a good one. So the ultimate question then is, are these discount brands taking up 99.99% of the store? Let's first dive into the overstock myth. So back in the day, like decades ago, off-price stores carried more true leftovers of past season clearance from department stores. But today's off-price business has totally evolved. In fact, according to retail experts, less than 15% of TJ Maxx merchandise is from previous seasons. That means that a whopping 85% is current season stuff. And of course, whether or not it's the clearance rack at Neiman Marcus is still in question. We're still working through that right now. But here's what I think is being exaggerated. Katu's number of 99.99%. We can all agree, we have found genuine overstock gems at TJ Maxx and Marshalls that are fully authentic, the real brand. Like the Free People Movement sweatshirt I just found in the long racks at Marshalls. It's still at Dick's and freepeople.com for full price. I just saw it. Like last weekend I was at Dick's, I just saw the sweatshirt full price. The Hunter Rain trench coat I just found in clearance at Marshalls. The real deal. The tag, the labels, the quality. It had the original price tags. It all says the real deal. I don't even think Hunter does a lesser manufactured brand, although I don't know that for sure. The enormous amount of Missoni, Kate, Farm Rio, and beyond that I find on a regular basis, all legit pieces from the brands themselves at TJ Maxx, those were not made for TJ Maxx discounts. Those were the real thing. They're the one-of-a-kind pieces. I mean, ask yourself, have you ever spotted a piece from Free People or Theory at TJ Maxx and realized it's the same one currently in a department store? You almost bought it on Anthropologie last week? I am willing to bet you have. And only us pro shoppers would know that, because the truth is TJ Maxx and Marshalls do carry actual unsold items or returns from their mainline stores, especially in certain categories or seasons. And many of you know I have dedicated this entire channel to helping you find the real deals at TJ Maxx. I mean, we've seen these items in the runway section or in random one-off clearance sections. So yes, 99% is an exaggeration, but it does bring up a great conversation and even more of a need to be aware of what you're shopping so that you can spend money on the best things at the best quality for your life. So don't burn your Maxxinista card just yet. While I personally do not like shopping manufactured brands, it doesn't mean shopping them at TJ Maxx or Marshalls is bad or that you're being scammed, because now you know, and that is where your power is, and that is how you shop smart. The key is to be an informed shopper. Enjoy the thrill of a hunt, but hunt wisely. And as I mentioned, I've dedicated so many of my videos to the thrill of the hunt, finding these incredible, authentic, 100% massive deals at stores like TJ Maxx and Marshalls. That's where the real win is. So if you found this breakdown helpful, you will definitely want to stick around for my upcoming videos. I'm planning a deep dive into specific brands that manufacture for TJ Maxx and outlets, and the tips on how you can tell, as well as a continuation of showing you how to hunt for those best things. So subscribe so you won't miss those future episodes. And trust me, you are never gonna shop the same way again. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Comment below, have you ever scored something at TJ Maxx that was legit, like a luxury steal? Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Mwah.